In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how to start your golf swing with the driver, an area that really troubles a lot of golfers, that first takeaway movement. How do I take the golf club away? Today, I'm going to answer that, really focusing on the big stick. Make sure you check this video out. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video is all going to be about the first movement away from the golf ball. How do I start my golf swing? And we're going to be focusing on the driver. It's a club. This video is actually relevant with any golf club, whether we're talking about an iron or a driver, but I quite often see the takeaway movement a little bit more exaggerated with a longer golf club because we're a little bit further away from it. It's a slightly flatter lie angle, and we tend to see the main problem over exaggerated. So the biggest problem I see with drivers is disconnection of arms away from the body, and often a real rolling of wrists where we see the club moving too far behind the person, and often the club face gets very open. An open club for a right-handed golfer is going to be aiming out to the right of the target. Very destructive shot, adding loft, unless we compensate and use a lot of hands through impact. And again, that just relies on timing. It's very hard to do. So in that first takeaway movement, what I'd like to see is the lead arm. So my lead arm is just my arm that's closest to the target, connected towards my chest. And I want quiet hands. So I'm not really overusing my wrists in that first movement. Okay, so very quiet hands, and that keeps the club a little bit outside my hands, and it keeps that club face just a little bit more angled downwards, closer to matching our spine angle in terms of that leading edge, and that's really going to help me square the club face. And I've got a couple of great drills for you, and they're both going to involve just a tour stick, so an alignment cane. The first drill we're going to do is we're going to set up to the golf ball, and we're going to put a tour stick on the ground in front of our toe line, parallel to the target, that is just below my hands. Okay, so my hands are hanging in that position about there somewhere. And what I'm trying to get the feeling of is that my hands trace that red line, the tour stick that's on the ground. So they're actually moving a little bit straighter back here. Now they will actually work on a slight arc, but feeling that they're moving a little bit straighter back, because the problems I tend to see in that first movement is the arms moving out away from you, so you can see they've moved to the outside of that red line, this tour stick, or everything being pulled back on the inside, sometimes even arms out, club in. So I want to feel like the movement is just my handle moving straight back down that line with very quiet hands, quiet wrists, not really over rotating here. So almost feeling that the back of my lead arm stays down the target line a little longer as my hands trace down that red line. Now you'll see as I do that, that's not just hands achieving that. I am creating some rotation, so my shoulders, my upper body are starting to rotate, and of course my hips will do a little bit as well. So I'm not fixing any point. It's not just going to be hands. It's actually going to be the feeling that my hands trace straight back down that line, but of course my body is active within that. And if I stop at that takeaway position, you'll see my lead arm is nice and connected, and the club head, importantly, is outside my hands. That club face position looks good. The other exercise that we can do is actually going to be using a tour stick. Let me set up about the right distance away from this ball again. We're going to go this time about a foot behind our outside of our trail foot, and just in front of our toe line, 6 inches or so forward, so around here. And what I'm going to get the sensation of is that my hands, probably has to come just a little bit nearer me. I want to get the sensation that my hands and handle touches that red line there, that tour stick behind me, rather than the club working where it's be the club shaft hitting, or my hands missing it altogether. So I really want to try and feel like my hands and handle is actually just touching that red line in the takeaway. That is about a foot behind the outside edge of my trail foot, and it's about 6 inches or so forwards in front of my toe line. And I'm just going to get that sensation, it's the handle touching. This is the first movement I really want to see. So it is lead arm connected, the club head is outside my hands, not working in behind me. A real killer, a very destructive move in the golf swing is the club face getting behind you and the club face getting open. An open club, if it's still open on the downswing, we're going to go way out right to target for a right-handed golfer unless we use a lot of hands and arms through impact. So if you can nail this takeaway movement, it's one of those key fundamentals you see all good golfers do very, very well. And what you'll see with a lot of elite golfers is they rehearse this movement. So they're setting up to the golf ball, and before they swing, they're rehearsing that feeling, that connection of their lead arm, their quiet hands, keeping the club outside their hands, and that club face more mirroring, matching spine angle that we really want to see rather than these faults. So I'm going to go ahead and hit one. I'm going to rehearse the takeaway move once or twice, just getting that same sensation. Check the position. The club head is outside my hands before I go ahead and pull the trigger. Well, if I can hit them all like that, I'd be a very happy man. So let me try that one last time. Same feeling, same movement in that takeaway position. I'm going to rehearse that first move. Club head is outside my hands. Quiet hands. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger. Again, happy with the ball flight, definitely got that sensation of what my handle was doing, and it's an easier part to control if we can keep that takeaway movement smooth enough that we can feel the position. Do the exercises, do the drills, and then you'll be able to take that to the golf course. If that video has helped you, hit the thumbs up and do consider subscribing to my channel to never miss any more content. If you hit that little bell icon, it just notifies you every time a new video goes live. Cheers guys, we'll speak to you soon.